It's a post-apocalyptic LARP called A47. In this world, society kind of stopped evolving around the 80s mostly, kind of into the 90s, and then 100 years before game time in, something happened and society fell. So far in the world, there is NorCal, SoCal, you get what that means, and who knows what's happening in the rest of the world. If you ever go to this game, it is gonzo as F, and so much fun. It is over the top, but very respectful to cultures. This character concept allowed me to check off a few wishlist items of accomplishments for LARP and crafting. Wishlist number 1, I wanted to make a costume that was gradiences of white. From kind of a grayish white to gingy yellow white. Number 2, I have been drooling over these skirts that I have seen on Etsy and on Pinterest that have been these ragged, lacy, bohemian pieces of just elegance and earthiness. This was the perfect excuse to make one. Number 3, I wanted to make a character that nodded to Alphonse Mucha. I love Mucha art and Art Nouveau. The last time I got to make a costume that nodded towards Alphonse Mucha was when I got to make a Fae costume that was the Fae of the Dawn. 4, I wanted to take a thrift store violin and see if I can do, yet again, a Mucha inspired Art Nouveau violin that I wouldn't mind if something happened to it at LARP. Also, I just really wanted to mod a violin and see what skills I could use with this, and boy, let me tell you, I learned some basic luthier skills. I'm not a luthier whatsoever now. I'm not going to call myself at all a luthier. Maybe like low grade, like super novice beginner. I know how to set a sound post now, and I now know how to hair a bow. Not well, but I'm gonna show you what happened with all of those. That is 2 separate other videos. When I start a character costume, I ask myself, who are they? What do they use every day? What do they wear? Dalian is a book hunter, a seeker of knowledge who uses her violin that she found at the lowest point of her life, and it is what brought her back to hope and joy, and it is how she appeases the spirits. Her guilty pleasure is anything Gem and the Holograms related, and I did end up finding a used Gem and the Holograms thermos. I did not find this at a thrift store. Somebody online was selling their used Gem thermos, so this is what she carries tea or soups or water in. Which brings me to something I always create for my characters, which is the box. A lot of LARPers, y'all have your character boxes, I'm sure. And this is just her props. My costumes I usually hang up in my closet, but this is her props. And this is an oven mitt that my friend Chris Wren gave me, and she uses this as her shoulder pad for her violin. Here's her Gem and the Hologram book that she found at somebody's old house. She loves reading this. The place where she found her violin, she also found these books. These are actually my old books that I learned from as a kid, so I thought, well, they're tattered and old enough, why not? So, yeah. And, yeah, I have my glow sticks, which is how I find my arrows in the dark. Anyway, so, oh, she has a bell, which I found at a thrift store. Basically anything that would soothe spirits through music. Things that influenced this character's look was anything from the 80s, Alphonse Mucha, like I said, Gem and the Holograms, lace because she likes lace and thinks it's pretty, or anything that gave this character an earthy or back to nature feel. I went to Pinterest and started a board and various little subboards from there, and I did all the image searches on Google and pinned those to Pinterest, did all the searches I could on Pinterest for those specific terms, and just started pinning away. I'm one of those people that while I have a pretty solid idea of what I want to do with a character, I don't usually draw it out. I've done it before, it's not my style. Especially when you're dealing with a costume that you're mostly trying to get everything from a thrift store, you are going to be left up with what you find. So I would not go for anything specific. Have a basic concept of what you want. There were some specific items and I did get very lucky. For instance, a white wool coat. I got lucky. The concept with how the character clothes herself is she has had these clothes for like 15 years in various states. Every time she finds a bit of white cloth or white lace, she adds it to her clothing. The showcase piece of the costume was the Lacy rag skirt. I found some shorts that had an elaborate waistband that I really liked, so I just cut the waistband off the shorts, leaving a little extra material on the bottom that I could use as my base. Then it was just a matter of cutting up a bunch of lacy embroidered shirts and skirts and shorts and sweaters. When building a skirt like this, you want to think inside out. So the layer that everyone's going to see on top, you want that to be the first layer you build. Then you can go bigger chunks as you work. Maybe, I wouldn't go more than 3 layers, otherwise it's going to be really hard to sew with your machine. The second and third layers you can go a lot wider, and this is going to save you a lot of tedious work while getting full coverage. Well, Dalian is very much like, not a cinnamon bun, but a very happy and peaceful character. She's actually pretty dangerous, and I wanted to still be able to do things like slide on my knees and my shins if I wanted to and still remain safe, or even a lot of times just going down on one knee and still remaining safe. So I made these. I found some shin guards that were baseball shin guards. I was also looking for hockey shin guards would have worked too. And it protects the knee and the shins. It didn't quite have, it was just Velcro. So I didn't think that was going to be strong enough for what I wanted. So I used some belts and attached some belts to it. And there will be a tutorial video about how to do this. This character is a fighter. Her boots needed to be sturdy, so I was looking for something that gave me a lot of support and a good waffle bottom so that I wouldn't end up sliding all around. One of the really cool things about the experience of this brand new LARP was the opening scene of Game Time In was we were forsooth all captured. They had different levels of experiences based on how comfortable you were with, say, being like verbally heckled, or even in a situation where, say, a bag is over your head and you're kidnapped. So it was varying levels of what you're cool with. I really appreciate them for taking that effort for care of their players and their comfort. To represent that all our stuff had been taken, and that we would have to reclaim our stuff in this first month. We would have to break free of our captors and find our stuff. In order to have it, we had to have a bag that we would recognize as ours in game. So I found this at a thrift store, and I didn't even know what I was looking for, and it was then on the shelves, and there was Dalian's bag. It was so perfect. It is 100% her, very earthy and woven and knit and like lacy knitted kind of stuff. I was very happy with it. I would say 90% of this costume and props came from a thrift store. And Dalian's great. I can't wait to play her again. She was a lot of fun to design. I think I had the most fun making the violin. I think I had the most fun and the most stress making the violin, but so happy with that violin. Now you know how I design all the props and costumes for a character, especially if my main source is going to be the thrift store. If you have any questions, of course, leave them in the comments. If you like this video, give it the thumbs up, but more importantly, if you think somebody could benefit from watching this video, if it'll help them with their character creation and design, share it with them. LARP experiences are going to improve, especially for new LARPers out there. If you're curious about what I'm finding at thrift stores, check out my Instagram. Facebook is where I kind of say hi and communicate in between these videos. And there is a crafters group on that page if you want to join it and connect with other crafters in LARP. It's been a really great community, and I'm so happy that that's there. And just seeing everybody exchange information and show all the things that they're working on, it's really making me happy. So, okay, thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to showing you all the other videos that go along with this one.